Good morning. So I want to take this moment here before I start this next video in Clarks Fork Lake, Idaho, to reintroduce myself and my channel for those of you who may have stumbled on this and wonder what the heck is going on. So my name is Todd Lohr. My channel name is The Nomadic Troubadour, and back in February of 2025, late February, I left my home of Savannah, Georgia in a 1967 Chevy Impala that I've owned for 35 years across the country on a 4 to 6 month road trip pulling a small teardrop trailer. Now, this Chevy has not been redone. It has the original engine, original spark plug wires, probably original spark plugs, valve cover leaks, JB weld on the radiator. You can see it all here in this short shot that I'm going to show you. But I was bound and determined to give this car one last hurrah, and I was bound and determined to go with it. So what I did was I left Savannah, Georgia, and late February, came down into Florida, crossed Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, into Texas, down into Big Bend, up through New Mexico, crossed Arizona, Grand Canyon, Bryce, Utah, crossed Nevada, made the coast in Mendocino, California, went up Mendocino, California, up the coast to Portland, met with some friends there, hung out for a couple days, went up into Seattle and hung out with some old friends there for an entire week. And last week I was in a town called Twisp, Washington, and here's where I need some help from you guys. So my videos are so far behind. I arrived home from this trip in late August, and I've been subsequently trying to catch up on these videos, bound and determined to finish this trip in video format, but I'm finding it hard to become motivated in doing so. Only because sometimes I feel the work put into these videos doesn't translate into subscribers. Now, I don't believe my channel is going to go viral at this point. It'll never become popular enough to be monetized, but it doesn't take much of a spark or a lift from any of you viewers to give me a little push to the finish line. For instance, last week, like I said, my last video was in Twisp, Oregon, and there was a small little Grateful Dead tribute concert being put on there. And I attended this concert and filmed a little bit of it, and I met a bunch of people that weekend in this little town of Twisp, which is this little hippie artist town. And I got a comment on my YouTube channel from a man named Steve Moreland, and he thanked me for posting this, and he asked if I remember meeting him, and I did. And I don't hardly ever get a comment or a thumbs up or anything like that on my channels, but this little bit of comment from him was enough for me to say, okay, let's keep pushing here and let's try to get this thing done. So I'm trying to get to the finish line, complete the videos all the way back to Georgia. Right now, I've made the right turn. Like I said, I am now officially on my way back in video time, and I need your help. If you get anything from these videos at all, whether you're a car guy, whether you're a music guy, or maybe you just like some of the nature footage I shoot, do me a favor. Reach out, hit subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, all those things that all the YouTubers tell you to do. I don't like to beg for subscribers, but like I said, I don't think I'm going to be viral, and probably I'll never be monetized, but boy, it doesn't take much of an incentive for me to give me a push to the finish line. So any help you can do, and that would be awesome. According to my analytics, there's 75% of you guys that occasionally watch this channel that are not subscribed. And that's fine. I realize these videos probably aren't for everybody. Some are better than others. Some are probably really pretty fucking boring. But, I'm not a professional photographer. I'm just a guy who decided to take a wild trip and had a wild hair and said, screw it, let's go. I want you to know that I did make it back successfully in late August, and we are on the return trip home. My return trip will find me going through Clarks Fork Lake, into Montana, Lolo, down into Yellowstone, across through Nebraska, South Dakota, the Badlands, through Minnesota, Wisconsin, into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, all the way down the coast, and then meandering back to Savannah. So, yeah, do me a favor, hit subscribe, give me a little push to the finish line. I appreciate it. And without further ado, here is the video for Clarks Lake, Idaho. Had a great time there. Met a man who took me fishing. Had a great campsite on a lake that I just couldn't believe was free. There's campsites out there that are amazing locations and they are free, and this was definitely one of them. I almost didn't want to leave. Also hiked Scotchman Peak and saw some wild mountain goat up there. So I hope you enjoy this, and for those of you who are watching occasionally or who have watched or who are subscribers, thanks. I'm trying to get to the finish line, just needed a little help from y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers. Got a little bit of a late start in the morning leaving Twisp, Washington. My destination for that day was trying to make Kettle Falls. Fell short of making Kettle Falls, but found this beautiful little roadside park called Groden Heritage Site. This was just a historic road marker site just west of Sherman Pass on Highway 20. I took refuge here for the night and then got on the road in the morning to make Clarks Fork Lake, Idaho. In the far northern reaches of Idaho, where mountains rise like quiet sentinels and rivers carry stories older than memory, the land slows you down. This is a place shaped by ice, water, and time. Place where the Clarks Fork River winds its way through deep valleys and where Scotchman's Peak stands watch above it all. The Clarks Fork River begins high in the Rocky Mountains of western Montana, but it is in northern Idaho that the river seems to exhale. Here it broadens and softens as it flows past forests of cedar and fir, skirting the edges of wetlands and open meadows before emptying into Lake Pond Oriole. The river has always been a lifeline, first to the indigenous peoples, then to the trappers, traders, and settlers who followed this course westward. It was a corridor of trade, a source of fish, and a guide through rugged country. Even today, standing along its banks, you can sense how the river connects everything it touches, mountains to lake, past to present. While staying at Clarks Fork Lake, I was lucky enough to meet this gentleman here who took me out on his boat fishing. I forgot your name, sir, but I do remember your dog's name. His name was Chevy, and I appreciate you taking me out.
Truly hard to believe that this place is free to stay. It's the Clarks Fork Drift boat ramp. If you're ever coming through Clarks Fork, Idaho, pull over here. You got a nice place to stay for up to 3 days, absolutely free. It's gorgeous.
So I am in Clarks Fork, Idaho, and I have decided to do this crazy hike. It's probably going to come in at about 6 hours, and 3,700 feet of elevation gain. It's called Scotchman's Peak. I didn't think the road up here was going to be as treacherous as it is, but the Chevy's inching her way up, about 1.5 miles from the trailhead, I think. The only reason I'm doing this hike is there are supposed to be mountain goats at the top of this mountain, a family of mountain goats, little babies, whatnot, and yeah, I want to see some mountain goats close up and personal. So I've done some hikes already that, 2,000 feet elevation gain, but nothing 3,700 feet. I guess this is relentless. It's all switchbacks, uphill, no downhills, just up, up, up. They say to get an early start to beat the heat. It's only going to be 80 today, but 80 is going to be a lot on this hill. I guess the sun faces the climbing side, so plenty of water and patience, and yeah, this one's gonna test me.
From the top, the Clarks Fork River can be traced like a silver thread below. On a clear day, you can see deep into Montana, across endless ridges and valleys shaped by glaciers thousands of years ago. It's a reminder of how small we are and how vast this land remains.
I just made this little guy's day. He just got some sesame seeds. He's a happy camper right now.
Scotchman Peak is also home to one of Idaho's most iconic residents, the mountain goat. Sure-footed and resilient, these animals thrive in terrain that seems impossible. Clinging to steep cliffs with ease, their presence is a symbol of the wild character of this region, untamed, resilient, and quietly enduring. Together, the Clarks Fork River and Scotchman Peak tell a shared story. One moves constantly, shaping the land through motion and time. The other stands firm, shaped by the same forces, but resisting change. Water and stone, movement and stillness. In northern Idaho, these landscapes don't demand attention, they earn it. They invite you to listen, to look longer, and to remember that some places still exist much as they always have. Let me tell you, after 7 hours of hiking, up and down my legs were rubber, and there was nothing more refreshing than a dip in Clarks Lake. All in all, I spent 3 days at Clarks Fork Lake and enjoyed it thoroughly. What a beautiful region of the United States to be in. There was nothing left to do but sit back, watch the sunset, have a drink of Jack Daniels, listen to some Ray, and call it good. See you next week in Montana. Cheers.